How long does it take for a new MSP to be profitable? And this question has come in so many times, and I've kind of hesitated to make this video until today. And I say that because I have interviewed hundreds of you guys, whether you've jumped on discovery calls, you've hung out in the Discord, and I've been able to absorb all of the information. And what I thought is pretty darn accurate. And we're going to get into what you have to do to be super profitable as early on in the process. And we're going to dive into it right now. My name is Harrison Barron from growth-generators.com. We help MSPs grow, whether it's sales training, marketing, or business operations. And before I get into it, if you'd be so kind to head over to the MSP Heroes podcast, whether that is on Spotify, your Apple Podcasts, or some other, if you can find it, vendor that promotes or pushes out podcasts. And if you want to see ours on there, let us know. But it's called MSP Heroes, and we'd really appreciate a like on that video. Other than that, down in the video description and the podcast descriptions, there's a ton of super helpful links. We always update those. Definitely go check those out, including growth-generators.com/resources, or come visit us online. So let's get into actually becoming a profitable MSP. Now, if you're a new MSP, you're going to get a ton of value. And if you are an established MSP and you've kind of hit a little stagnation point where you're really not growing to the level that you want to, or you're just not acquiring a new set of customers or new customers on a fairly regular basis, I always tell people the best thing that you can do is take a step back, believe it or not. And if you're just starting out, you don't have any steps back. We are starting at the beginning, and that's okay. You guys are going to gain a ton from this video. But you have the initial setup phase, right? That beginner phase, that startup phase, and it's really important. But what's more important specifically than all of that and anything I tell you throughout this video is you have to come up with an ICP, an ideal customer profile, or your buyer persona. And you could go grab a template at growth-generators.com/resources, or I'll leave one down below. But the reason why I tell you that is not because I think it's important to have. I think it's extremely necessary to have, because everything you do from your ICP forward or everything that you're going to do in your MSP is going to be based on your ISP, on your ICP. Too many little acronyms in here. Every little bit of sales, every little bit of marketing, every time you pick up this phone call to call somebody, every problem you're going to deal with should fall in your ICP, your ideal customer profile, that buyer persona, because those are the people that are going to ultimately put money in your pocket. It is really, really important to know who you want to go after. And when you're doing the marketing, when you're doing the SEO, who to make the content for to attract them into your business. It is vital to know who that person is. And this is the number one problem. I'm not going to make you wait till the end of the video. This is the number one problem I see with MSPs. Doesn't matter if they've been around for a long time or they're just starting out. They're allergic to narrowing down and figuring out who their target customer is. The faster and the earlier that you can figure that out, magic happens. And it is truly amazing when it all comes to play and it starts to work itself out throughout that startup phase. The next and probably second most important thing before we get into the money, right? Because we want to talk about profit, but we have to take the steps in the right direction, is figuring out what you're going to offer. Now, you're a new MSP, or maybe you're an established one. Maybe if you're established, you have a ton of services that you want to offer or you're already offering. Maybe it's, dare I say, too many. But if you're a startup, you want to make sure that you have a really, really good beginner service package that you can offer, that you know is going to be able to help your ICP, that buyer persona that you need to make sure it goes after, and maybe a couple extras in there. But when you're first starting out, you probably want to keep it a little lean. You want to know what you're really good at, what you can offer to them, and what makes you unique to your ICP. And if you're established and you've been around for a while, maybe you have too many. Might be time to dial it back a little bit to make sure that you can get to the next level, making it easier for your sales team, easier for your marketing team to then move that process forward. So that begs the question, how long does it actually take to become profitable? Well, it's going to depend on everybody, right? I could almost change that entire statement to, how long does it take to get ripped at the gym? Depends, right? Depends on how much you're actually willing to do and go out there and put the work in. I have seen you guys, right? Whether you're in the Heroes program, the Discord, you've worked with us on private coaching, and sometimes it takes 6-7 months. But that first deal might be $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, which is crazy. And they were hunting for big fish the whole time. So they weren't profitable until that first customer. And as soon as they get that first customer, boom, they're in the money. But for the most part, I think a great rule of thumb is if you're willing to put the work and the effort in, 3 to 6 months. And I know that might be aggressive for some of you, but if you truly put in the work to go acquire your first customer, you could be profitable in your first 3 to 6 months. I didn't say rich. I said profitable, where you go out and you're not just lighting money on fire. You're at the point where, hey, it doesn't hurt you to continue the way you're going, and you're putting some money in your pocket or putting money into the business to continuously grow. But after you begin to establish and start to acquire those first customers, and if you work really hard, there's no doubt you can get them within 30 days. I've seen, you guys have told me it's happened. I've helped many of you guys acquire in less than 30 days, but that's not everybody. Not everyone's going to do that. 3 to 6 months is a safe time frame. If you're not putting in a lot of energy, I would say 12 months. And I know that's a long time, but it depends. If this is a side gig that you're planning on doing, if you have kids, a family, and it's not your highest priority and you're not willing to put all of the work in, it could take up to 12 months, and that's okay too. It could be a side hustle that you turn into a full business down the road. There's no right or wrong answer. It's what works best for you, which is really important. And I want to make sure that you understand that, as well as I want to make sure that you hit the like button, that subscribe button, and that notification bell as you go through that. But after you get your first customer, immediately after this, right? Because you're never going to get out of that kind of startup phase, that initial getting new customers, if you don't focus tremendously on your sales pipeline. That means a list of customers that want to do business with you. And it's not easy to make, but through good sales, practice, training, prospecting, through good marketing, whether that's ads, organic, however you want to run it, but building up a list of people that want to do business with you is vitally important, because the last thing you want is to look around and say, I don't know where my next deal is coming from. Horrifying. I'm actually getting goosebumps talking about it. It's horrifying. It is the worst feeling in the world. Trust me, I've been there in my own business when I took the leap of faith and didn't have a new customer right off. Well, I had customers off the rip, but it took a little while after I got the initial few. I didn't focus on this. This is how I know, and talking to you guys, to focus heavily on that, right? I'm an incredible salesperson, but I had to learn marketing even more so as a sweaty startup and doing some guerrilla marketing. Ultimately, it ended up working out, and it will for you too. And what works well for me might not work well for you. And what works well for you might not work well for another MSP. So keep trying and keep pushing forward. I promise you, you're going to get through it. But now that we've talked about profitability and becoming profitable, I want to talk a little bit about the next phase of the business, right? Because the next phase is really where you kind of get to spread your wings, you get to grow a little bit, you got some money in the pocket, you're feeling real confident, chin's way up high, and you feel good about yourself, because it is truly an incredible place to be in business. It is lightning through the veins. It feels amazing. And that is the growth phase, right? You've now become profitable, right? You're not drowning in money, not drowning in debt. You're not worried about too much. You have some money coming in, right? You're kind of established. You have your contracts ironed out. You're pretty good. As long as another customer, a customer doesn't leave, you're going to be pretty okay. Next is going to be growth, because growth is massively important. And part of growth is scaling. In my opinion, this is the vital point that you need to start taking out a pen, which of course I never have one on my desk, but hey, we got a dry erase, but writing out your standard operating procedures, SOPs. I've talked about it in some recent videos. You have to have those. What makes your business tick? If you don't have the ability to bring somebody in, get them trained up in a short period of time, show them the process that they have to follow, the standard operating procedures that they need to go through in order to succeed in your business, you're going to fall to the wayside. That is going to be a rough situation, especially as you grow. You're going to be working on sales and a ton of other things. You're going to be juggling a bunch of stuff. You have to make sure that you begin to document and build out your processes. Your processes are the lifeline of the business, right? Marcus Lemonis has that TV show. It's people, processes, and then product, right? Those are the three, right? The product is your services. The people are the people you're going to be hiring, which makes you only have one thing left that you really can fully control, which is the processes that they follow. They have the people. You can find great people, but without good processes, it has to have all three of those. Otherwise, it's going to fall over and it's not going to be good. And through that growth phase, now, right, you can build and add on more service offerings. And if you're an established MSP and you're still watching and you're like, Harrison, I'm not getting to the next level. Look, I get it. It is massively frustrating. At one point in my life, I had hair. Trust me. I know how stressful it is. That's a joke, by the way. But truly, you have to get your processes in place, regardless of what they are. And don't worry, you're not going to get it right on day one. Trust me, Michael Phelps wasn't an Olympic athlete out of the womb. It takes time to build it up and get better and get better and get better. But you have to be on a relentless pursuit of getting as good as possible. Perfection doesn't exist. Throw that word out the window. But as good as possible is truly, truly important. And then after that, after you go through that, it's about maintaining and growing your profitability and then measuring profitability, right? What are the indicators of profitability? Profit doesn't always have to be, and this is more for the established MSPs, but doesn't always have to be about money. Profit could be having your time back, being able to do whatever you want, being able to go away on vacation with the family and not have to worry about money coming in or money going out or things burning down in the office, right? That's profit, right? That's almost wealth, in my opinion. So you have to consider those. And as you go through this, right, and figure out how to measure that profitability, and obviously there's your balance sheet and your P&L, profit and loss sheet, but you have to then go through, and you're going to hear me talk about this for forever. There is going to be a point when you're profitable, you're making money, you feel like you're on cloud nine, you got things worked out, you're working a lot, but you're working on not what you used to work on when you first started your MSP. It could be 3, 6, 9, 12 months later, could be even 24 to 72 months later, right? But the most important thing is you continuously improve through the entire process. You want to make sure not just your SOPs are getting better, right? Your pipeline's also growing. You're getting appropriate training for your employees. You're getting mentorship to grow your business. I cannot tell you how many MSPs are struggling out there. You guys have called me. I've spoken to you. You can't start. You're at a hump. Nothing's moving forward. Get a mentor, get into some kind of training program, get into a peer group, something of that nature. If you're just starting out and you think that that's a good idea for you, go for it. We have one. It's not my job. It's not all about me. I don't want to just promote my stuff. If you find one that you think is really good, go check it out. I encourage you. But the amount of people that walk around with their hands over their eyes, just hoping things are going to get better, it's too darn high. You have to go get somebody from outside the organization to look in and figure out what's causing the holdups, what's causing the halt in the growth. And sometimes it's a super uncomfortable conversation, but most of the time, those conversations are incredibly either eye-opening or profitable or both. Right? You might have some things that really don't tickle your fancy, and that's okay. but being uncomfortable is what lets you grow as a person and as a business. So I hope this video helped you. I hope you guys got some clarification on when you're going to be profitable, how hard you have to work to become profitable, right? What that process of growth actually looks like. If you want to come hang out with us in our mentorship group / membership / peer group, it's called MSP Heroes. I will leave a link down below. It is truly, in my opinion, the best thing for new MSPs or even established MSPs looking to continue to grow. We have people from 7 figures all the way down to just filing out their LLC in the United States. Whatever I think there's like a VAT number in the rest of the world. There's several different terms I've heard as far as starting a business, but it's cool. It's truly an amazing community. I invite you to come check it out. $7 for 7 days. It's the cheapest thing in the world. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, keep on the journey. Keep subscribing. Keep checking it out. And I love you guys, and I'll see you guys over there. Other than that, see you guys tomorrow for a video. By the way, I am now a married man. This is the first time first video I've made after being married. I can't stand the ring on my finger. I type all day, and I'm in front of my computer all day. So trust me, it's just because I'm at my computer. Other than that, and I know some of you guys knew that I was getting married. So love you guys. Love all the support that you guys have given me. And come hang out in the Discord, growth-generators.com /Discord. I'll see you guys later.